Hi, folks, welcome to Words of Ages. Today, we're going to be talking about how to find a new path, especially when you're attached to an old and scared of, change sort of feeling. All endings are just beginnings, we just don't know it yet. The difficulty of finding, let alone staying on a path, was brought to mind recently when I got lost in a maze at a children's amusement park. Seriously lost. In the end, I scrambled under the maze to get out. I didn't like the feeling of hitting up against walls, turning and trying, and then finding another wall blocking my path. Mazes are designed to confuse, and together with the summer heat, I had had enough. As I came out from under the fence, someone jokingly called out "cheater," and they were correct. In that moment, I wasn't sticking at it. It made me think, isn't this sometimes the label we give ourselves when we are on a path that isn't right or isn't working? And we are considering quitting, or we want to take a shortcut, grasp an unexpected opportunity, or take a different path from our predecessors. It can be helpful to have a sense of direction. Not having a plan for what we want in life can result in low motivation and sense of purposelessness. For many people, it can be very stressful due to the societal pressure to have a plan for your life. Sometimes I'm surprised at how early this pressure arises. Some young people I work with in my clinic feel pressure to decide what path to take at ages 13 and 14. They share their concerns about every single grade they've received and their fear that if they're not good enough, they'll have no future and a bad job. Some might think that these young people are showing signs of being driven or highly motivated. From my perspective, it can make life quite narrow to live with so much anxiety and pressure about getting things right. Living in constant fear of a misstep is no way to live life. After all, life is full of missteps. Other people feel overwhelmed about which path to choose. They ask, what if I choose the wrong path? What if I make a mistake? What if when I actually choose something, I don't like it? What if I'm no good at it? Some others will say, I know what I don't want to do. I just don't know what I want to do. Sometimes this leads to an almost paralyzed, I don't know what I want to do position. In times gone by, people often finished school, got a job and stayed in that career or job for life. However, modern life is not like this. Changing economic and market conditions mean people are required to be more flexible and change employment type over the course of their life. So, in some ways, it seems futile for people to feel pigeonholed into making one choice, as it's likely there will be many choices down the road. When I talk with people who are struggling to choose or find a path, I often share my own story about how I became a clinical psychologist. My story is a classic example of how making a choice that's not a good fit for you isn't the end of the world. Often, like in my story, it can lead to an even better outcome. During my high school years, I fell in love with singing and drama. So I hatched a plan to take up musical theatre as a career. The first sign that this probably wasn't going to work out was when I didn't get a place in my first choice of study. However, I chose to ignore this sign and remain hopeful. Took up a position in a classical music program, even though I didn't want to be an opera singer. As the year wore on, it became clear to me that this was not for me. Studying music at school had been fun, but studying music full-time and mixing only what other music students were stifling and even boring. A meeting with the dean mid-year regarding my failure to progress at the level the program required made the future clear. I saw the year out, but I knew I would only ever be an average music student. After spending a year around people who were more suited to it, I knew I had neither the talent nor the high levels of extroversion needed to succeed in a performance career. It was kind of embarrassing. It was my experience of failure. It was also an opportunity. The part of me that was itching to learn more about the world, about people, about life outside of the narrow world of classical music was set free. But what to choose? I'd spent years honing my musical ability and not considering doing anything else. Fortunately for me, doing what didn't fit had helped me to define what might. So I chose something that would expand my knowledge and ideas and that would help me serve others. One of the things that had bothered me about classical music study is that it didn't seem to contribute or benefit others much. I chose a general psychology degree based on the fact that I wanted to know more about people, and away I went. Instantly, the fit was better. I felt engaged, stimulated, motivated to attend and alive. These were good signs that I was on the right path. I shared this story with people who are having difficulty making a choice because it incorporates two core areas that keep people stuck when finding or changing their path: fear of failure and letting go of past ideals. Dealing with the fear of failure. Underpinning the struggle that many of us have with finding or changing a path is the fear of failure. If you don't choose, you can't fail. Conversely, if you don't choose, you cannot succeed either. How do we move past the fear of failure? Acknowledge that it's normal to feel anxious about making a choice. Having some anxiety about your choice does not make it wrong. There is little certainty in any path. So there is unlikely to be a time when you will feel completely at ease with your decision. Practice managing your anxiety with breathing, mindfulness, and helpful self-task. Deep breathing is key to managing physical anxiety symptoms as it calms the nervous system down. Mindfulness teaches us that we only have this moment and that it's futile to control the future. Helpful self-talk helps ease anxiety by reducing the impact of negative predictions. For example, if you fail this, you'll fail everything could be changed to many successful people have changed their path or experienced failures, so it doesn't mean I will fail. Look for stories of successful people who had missteps or changed their paths. Reading about people who made a career change can lessen the hold of negative predictive thoughts and old beliefs about failure. Letting go of past ideals. The difficulty with changing your path can be associated with investment in your old one. You may have put a lot of effort into achieving the goal at the end of that path. You may have told a lot of people about it. You may even be a little or a lot in love with the idea of reaching that goal. When you need or have to change your path, it can involve a sense of loss. Your mind may tell you that it's been all a waste of time. To handle these difficulties, let go of the goal by acknowledging your sense of loss and practice acceptance. It's normal to feel sad about letting go of a past. Acknowledge those feelings without sinking in them and getting stuck. Notice the feelings and let them pass. Address and challenge self-critical thoughts. If you experience self-critical thoughts about trying for your goal, such as who are you to even think you could have that, you may benefit from changing it to something more helpful, such as I did my best but it wasn't for me. I will find something for me, or the simple I could never know if I didn't try. Focus on the positive of the current path. As much as you can, be in the present moment. Cultivate that skill through mindfulness practice. And address concerns about futility. Know that the time spent on your old path wasn't pointless. You most likely gain skills and insight from your journey so far that will help you either now or in the future. For example, my knowledge of the performing arts has helped me more times than I count as a clinical psychologist. It helps me relate to clients who are musicians or that work or study in that area, and it helps me relate to performance anxiety. Life can be more rewarding when you're on a path. In fact, many people say that the journey can be more satisfying than the final outcome. With these strategies, you can avoid becoming paralyzed by the common blocks that prevent people moving forward and experiencing life fully. Allow yourself to live life to the full by taking a path knowing that you can change it if you need to. If you found this episode worth it, please be sure to like, share and subscribe. I request you to press the bell notification so that we can grow the channel. If there's something you'd like to add to what we've just spoken about, please be sure to add that to our comments in the comment section below. This is Words of Ages, and I will see you in the next episode.